worshiping Allah before the prophet, like which is Abdullah.
Yes,
That's me. The father is bearing Abdullah. Like they have been worshiping before the prophet.
yes, that's what I was
Eh,
saying. The Arabs were worshipping Allah. They consider him to be one of the gods. Eventually, they consider him to be the main god. I'm gonna explain it easily, like using the Greek mythology. Like the Greeks, they had Zeus, which is he is the god of gods, and he is the big guy, and we know what he did. And also they have other gods, like for example Hera, Poseidon, and so on. So in the Arabic Peninsula, they had Allah. He was the main god. Then they had Manat, Lat, and Uzza, three other goddesses that they consider to be the daughters of Allah. Then we have also some other gods that they used to worship. So Allah, just one idol amongst many in the Arabic Peninsula.
all right. Eh, let's talk about this other part of religion, which from the Abrahamic religion, according to the story. Some parts are from this side, which is Isaac. Some parts, which is Prophet Muhammad, is from Ismail, which is Arabian side. So can you talk about when the Jesus came from Aramic language? That is Aramic. Do you heard about that Aramic language?
By the way, Islam doesn't believe in Jesus. Who is Jesus in Islam? We have Isa in Islam, that's not Jesus.
We have Isa in Islam.
Yes, Isa is not Jesus.
It's
Even
not
the
what
translation, it's not correct. Because
the
Jesus came from the Aramaic word,
Aramic.
Aramaic word Yahshua.
Yeshua.
And Isa, it's literally till now so many scholars they are trying to figure out where this word came from. Is it Aramaic? Is it like old Hebrew? Because it's not even an Arab word. What Muhammad did is that he misunderstood the Nasara, the Christians in the Arabic Peninsula, and he considered him to be Isa. But who is Jesus in Islam? Doesn't exist. We have Isa then.
This is the question I wanted to ask about the Aramic language, because I found out the Aramic language, the God, what they mean there is Allah. When I put it on the translation, so does that mean Isa is also the worshiping of Allah? That's Prophet
Isa
Isa
is also,
worshiping of Allah. Is he worshiping Allah?
yeah, according to Islam, all the prophets and all the messengers were Muslims and they worshipped Allah. According to Islam, is that true? Absolutely not.
But
Because when we're gonna go back in time, if we're gonna find Jesus ever existed and Abraham ever existed and Moses ever existed, and we're gonna tell them Allah, do you know who is Allah? They'll be like, what are you talking about? We don't know who's that. Who's that? Does he play for Real Madrid or what?
who?
Because they were Jewish. They weren't.
Yes.
They wouldn't have even called it that.
Yeah, like just a very, very big misunderstanding. If you remember Jibola the other day, like I think it was 2 years ago, I told you that the Jews of Medina, they love to prank Muhammad and give him false information and joke around.
I heard about that.
So, have you ever heard about the story when there was this kafir from Quraysh who went to the Jewish group and he was like, can you please give me some questions? I want to ask Muhammad to see if he's true prophet or no. And then they gave him three questions. The three questions were, who are the seven sleepers? Who is the man that went from east to the west? And what is the soul? So pretty much Muhammad, when he received those answers, he told the guy that I'm gonna reply to you and I'm gonna answer you tomorrow. But for some reason he did not got the answer until a month later. When he came back with the answer in the Quran, He was talking about the seven sleeper. He did not even give them a proper number. Literally in the Quran, you're gonna find, oh, they were five and their dog was the sixth. Oh, no, no, no. They were seven and the dog was the eighth. I mean, they were four and the dog was the fifth. No proper answer. And that's just like a mythological story, Hebrew story that they used to tell their children before going to bed.
Lone.
Then we have, yes?
I'm sorry, I just want you to pay attention to the comment. I think people really want you to go into debt with the Sharia law. I don't know if you've got time. We want to know what the Sharia law consists of. And because right now, I don't know if you've heard, but you know, they've got a radio channel on here right now as well. So it's literally been broadcasted everywhere as much as we can. And so we want to talk about Sharia law in depth. What are the punishment? What are the benefits? What are the implications of Sharia law? And is it barbaric? Is it compatible with society or humanity? Thank you.
Okay. The Sharia is the law of Allah that He pretty much written by Himself. They had some rules and some obligations that we need to follow. Is it morally correct? Absolutely not. Does it go in our society in 2026? I would not even say that goes back in 300 BC. Pretty much it is super barbaric because simply Muhammad did not understand what is proper moral, and Allah was not that good in predicting the future to tell us that slavery it's not correct, child marriage is not correct, and so on. So the Sharia, as I said, consists of a lot of laws and a lot of loopholes that you can actually spin around if you know what to do. So, for example, we have what we call the apostasy law. The apostasy law in Islam, it is very strict. According to the hadith of the Prophet, when he said, whoever changed their religion, unalive them. And also the other hadith that the blood of a Muslim is not halal except for in this three situation, which is unaliving another Muslim, the one who committed zina while being married, like adultery, and the one who left their religion and left their group. So these situations, it is allowed to unalive a person. And here we are not even talking about like gathering a committee or calling a judge or whatever. No, the hadith is very easy. The Prophet says, whoever changed their religion, unalive them. And we have a lot of stories from the Sirah and the Sunnah where some Sahabas actually took charge and became a vigilante and did what they have to do without even asking permission from the Prophet or anything. And the Prophet heard the news, he accepted that and he did not even react. He was like, okay, their blood is halal. So in my situation, me as an apostate, because I was born and raised in this religion before leaving it, I am considered to be an apostate and I have to be unalived. That's why I keep my life a lot secret. Or we can also go to the main, pretty much the main issue about Islam, which is the offensive jihad, or what we call jihad al-talab in Arabic. This is a very, very big pillar in the Sharia law because of the jihad, we can actually apply the Sharia all over the earth. There is a rule in Islam that says that there are two types of lands on this earth: the land of war and the land of Islam. Saudi Arabia, it's a land of Islam. Qatar, a land of Islam. Morocco, a land of Islam. Spain, it's a land of war because they're not. It's not about being a Muslim, but the Sharia law and Islam must rule over that land. So when we have a secular law over any kind of country, that's considered to be a land of war. And this is one of the main biggest issues that we have in Islam. And also we have to talk about like the doctrine of loyalty and enmity about this. Okay, somebody asked about the 72 versions. Unfortunately, you have no 72 versions, you ladies. I'm so sorry for you. But yeah, just like pretty much Jannah and the paradise in Islam, it is an Epstein island for Muslims and for men. Yes, you
Sigidi
have like
paradise.
yeah, it's a PDD paradise. You, Jibola, like seriously, you are so unlucky because you don't speak Arabic. You must see the shuyukh and the da'iyah speaking about Epstein. And look at the West, the secular law, the atheist kuffar, what they do to the children and what they do to the human beings and the women. And look at Islam, like they gave a lot of privilege to women and they protect the children. I'd be like, bruh, really? Your prophet married a 9-year-old?
Wait,
How that protects
Lowrider,
them.
Lowrider, please.
Uh,
I have a question, please. You
Aj.
mean
Yes.
Hello, Aj. Wait. Uh, don't write that, please. Do you think that there
Bàbá
is someone?
ẹ jẹ́ kí Àjì béèrè béèrè sí.
All right. Oh yeah, Billy.
okay? According to me now, like we don't have a like guideline in this life. Like we have a guideline. This is how we're gonna be. This is how we're gonna be. Like if we do this, there is anything like punishment for we. Like everybody can do anyhow we like in this life.
I'm
There's
sorry
not
if
like
you think I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If you think that like that, you have a very deficient moral compass, and you need to check yourself. Because if you need a God to tell you what to do and what not to do, what is wrong and what is right, you don't have good morality. And also from there, we can speak about slavery. We can speak about unaliving innocent people. Do you think that moral or immoral?
That question's for you, Haji.
I can't hear you clearly. You said I'm not alive. Like who? Like
Yeah,
innocent people.
unaliving apostates. Do you think that's moral or immoral?
Like we should be non-aliving innocent people. Me.
If somebody that leaves the religion, your prophet said anyone that leaves the religion should be unalive. Is asking, according to you, is that moral or immoral?
I haven't seen find out the
Hold on, I don't
from
think
where.
you understand English very
No,
well. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n
I understand.
ẹ jẹ́
Wait,
ṣàlàyé fún yín, ẹ máa gbọ́. Èmi gan ò
mo
gbọ́
understand.
òyìnbó. Ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ ń béèrè
Wọ́n ní
lọ́wọ́ wọn wípé
wọ́n
ẹ
ní
hold
pé
on,
ìgbà tán ní
ẹ
tó bá ti
hold on,
kó
ẹ hold
nínú
on, ẹ hold
ẹ̀sìn
on,
pé ṣé wọ́n lè pa nǹkan tó ń sọ
ẹ
náà
hold
nìyẹn.
on, ẹ hold on. Ẹ ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn wípé since tí àwọn ò lẹ́sìn pé òfin wo ni ẹ wá fẹ́ máa tẹ̀lé. Wọ́n wá béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín pé okay o, since tẹ fẹ́ máa tẹ̀lé òfin Allah, ṣé ẹ̀yin rí wípé ó dáa torí pé èèyàn fi Islam lẹ̀ kó sọ ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ dànù?
The same thing náà làjọ sọ. Mo ní pé mi ò tíì bá a pàdé níbi tí wọ́n sọ pé bí a pé kí wọ́n pa ẹni tó bá já sí wípé kò sí nínú ẹ̀sìn.
He
Bí abẹ́ni
hasn't
tó bá
seen
fi
it before. Should we show him, Big Jokes?
Yes.
He has not seen the hadith before. This is literally under your Sharia law. Sharia tí gbogbo yín pariwo fún òun nìyẹn.
Sharia 101.
I feel like this thing is well known. There's a punishment for leaving Islam. Alhamdulillah for the laws of the kuffar. Alhamdulillah for the kuffar law. Because can you imagine how many people? Some people have to live their life in secret. Some people have to hide, pretend to fast during Ramadan, living
Don't
double
remind me,
lives.
it's next week.
Yeah, and no rather has to pretend this year. How long have you been pretending? 8 years?
Oh,
7,
it's 11 years. This Ramadan will be the 11th one.
11 years of hiding, pretending. And then you will say Islam is peaceful. That's the hadith in front of you. You can read it. Faktuluhu.
Ẹrú Allah ti gbé wá o. Ọmọ Allah ń sọ nǹkan ẹ̀yin
I
ní kò
think
sí níbẹ̀.
ẹ ní sùúrù náà. Ṣèbí Arabic tí ó kìí tó kó ti já Arabic báyìí ń sìn báyìí lẹ́yìn fi gbà gbogbo tó bá sọ. No, I'm trying to find out the truth. Èlé òun ṣe bóyá pé kìíní.
The truth náà lélẹ̀ yẹn la fi gbédè.
Ẹ ní sùúrù. Mo ti sọ fún yín ní ẹ̀ẹ̀kan. Tí a fẹ́ defend nǹkan fún mi, ẹ kọ́kọ́ mú wá nù kan. So at least máa back ẹ̀ up. Ẹ kàn mú àdìtì wá pọ́n ní immediately as in mo ní ìyẹn mi ò lè kà Arabic.
Lóra ẹ̀dà.
Okay.
I even want you to explain something before. Hold on. Hold on, no. There are some group of Sheikh. I don't know, maybe it's also in Islam. Now, what they are saying is that any hadith that they cannot find in Quran, that hadith is a da'if. Is that right in Islam?
Who said that? Does Albani knows about this?
There are some of
No, no, this is not correct.
some of
We
their
have
No rider.
Kewutology in our land. That's what they are
No
saying.
rider. No
no,
rider.
no, no,
Wait, wait,
no.
wait.
Give me a
If
second,
I
Haji.
wait,
Give
if
me a
I
second,
review,
please, please,
no rider,
please.
please a second, please.
I'm gonna lose my chain of thought. Just to answer the question with no jokes, there is a kind of procedure that we have to follow to tell if this hadith is sahih or no. And that procedure is literally called the science of men, in Arabic, ilm al-rijal, which has a lot of under science, if we want to talk about like subcategories under it. We have what we call jarh wa ta'dil, what we call sanad wal ishah, what we call ilm al-matn, al-an'ana, and so on. We have to see if the chain of narration is correct. There is no liar, no fallible person in that chain of narration. Then we have to see the words used in the hadith. Like, do we have a similar hadith using different word? Do we have another hadith, even if the chain of narration will be considered to be weak? Is the method of it, is the content of the hadith correspond to another one? So you cannot just say if it doesn't exist in the Quran, it's a da'if hadith. And also we have the abrogated verses in the Quran. The Quran has abrogated verses that either been abrogated by the Quran itself or by the hadith. Like, for example, mut'a marriage, or that short
Chapter
period marriage that,
424.
yeah, chapter 424. In chapter 424, you're gonna find that mut'a marriage is totally halal, but the hadith made it haram. The hadith literally abrogated that verse, and mut'a marriage right now it's haram.
Can you explain what muta marriage is?
Okay, so mut'a marriage, the proper translation or the literal translation for it is pleasure marriage, meaning that it's simply just halal prostitution, if I'm allowed to say the word. Literally, just you're gonna go find a girl, you're gonna give her some kind of payment under the dowry, and you're gonna tell her that, oh, you know, we're gonna be married for 3 nights, and that's it. And after the 3rd night, the marriage is totally annulled, and she can do whatever she wants, and you can do whatever you want. They used to do this a lot, while Muhammad actually gave the permission to his followers to do that while they were in war, especially when the siege gonna take too long and they cannot pretty much hold themselves, because, you know, they could not do it since it was the desert, and as they say, the women were wearing like revealing clothes. So pretty much the men, they asked Muhammad, like, give us a break, bro. Like, we cannot just keep it to ourselves. We have to do something or we're gonna explode. So he permitted them to have this kind of short period marriage.
Interesting. And for Ali Fagba to call me Olosho, I told him that day that Olosho exists in Islam. If I want to do proper Olosho work, I'll just take my Shahada right now, because at least it's halal. I'm not sinning against anyone. I told you, everything is permitted in Islam. Every atrocities you can think of.
You know, sometimes, Jibol, I think that when Allah made you, after he was done, he was like, what did I just do? She gonna ruin my career.
His career is over. It's over, because that debate we did about 2 Fridays ago was crazy, crazy, crazy debate. It's over.
Uh,
People
I,
are opening their
I
eyes.
didn't I didn't watch the debate, but I got news and they told me you ate. You were bringing fact after fact and receipt after receipt. I loved it. Like, literally, that news made me read download TikTok again.
It was such a good live. There was like 20K people on TikTok, people were watching on the radio. It was nuts.
Somebody asked, Lone Rider is 9 years a child or an adult? Islamically speaking, adult. Realistically speaking,
Why Ali Farba
child.
said it. It's in Islam is an adult. A 9-year-old is an adult in Islam.
Yeah.
Aisha said it in a hadith.
Yes. There is no adolescence in Islam. Childhood, adult. And being a child is pretty much subjective to yourself. Because, like, according to Islam, if you're a woman, like, you're not considered to be a child if you have pubic hair, manage to have your first period, pregnancy, or when you're gonna reach 9-year-old.
Prof, did you want to say something, Prof?
Itolayi wanted to ask one question the other time.
Or Big Joes, àwọn èèyàn ní kẹ́ ẹ relay nǹkan tí Lone Rider sọ so far, bóyá ẹ lè break it down Yorùbá for everybody so far.
Okay, ẹ ṣé. Gbogbo ilé a kú ètò látàárọ̀. Brọ́dà wa yìí la ní síbí yìí, ọmọ Sáúdí ni. Ó dẹ̀ ń ṣe bíi ó ti fi Islam lẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ó ṣì ń ṣe bẹni pé òun ṣì wà nínú Islam nítorí ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ kí wọ́n má bàa pa á. Nǹkan tá a fi ń sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa nìyẹn. Pé tán bá gbé Islam wá, nǹkan tí ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀. So Lone Rider wọ́n bá wa ṣàlàyé Quran 4 verse 34 níbi tí Allah ti sọ ńbẹ̀ pé kí a máa na àwọn ìyàwó wa àti gbogbo ẹ̀ bó ṣe ṣàlàyé. Wọ́n ṣàlàyé èèyàn tí Allah jẹ́ pé ère ọlọ́wọ́ ọ̀tún tí àwọn fámílì Muhammadu tí wọ́n ti ń bọ kó tó di pé wọ́n bí Muhammadu òun náà ni. Wọ́n ṣàlàyé Sharia tí a bá gba Sharia láàyè pé àwọn òfin Sharia àwọn òfin tó wà bàbárí pé tóun bá tiẹ̀ máa ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ gan pé kò bá òfin àwọn ayé arúgbó yẹn pé kò bá mu talk less of pé ó fẹ́ bá òfin ìgbà yìí mu. So àwọn ẹrú Allah kan náà wọ́n wá wọ́n bá wọn jiyàn pé nínú Sharia wọn ò ní kí wọ́n pa ẹni tó bá fi Islam lẹ̀. Òun náà la fi gbé àdìtì Sunan Anisa 4059 tí ànábì ti ń sọ tí Allah náà dẹ̀ tún fi ọwọ́ sí ìyẹn nínú Quran pé ẹni tó bá fi Islam lẹ̀ pé kán fáktù ló ń hùn kí wọ́n pa á. So àwọn eléyìí tí mo rántí nìyẹn. Ẹ ṣé gan.
Big Joes. Professor?
Yes.
Miss
Tọ́láyé ẹ fẹ́ béèrè
hello,
question lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn. Ẹ má bínú, Prof.
Lone Rider, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
According to my own perspective, I don't think there is a particular prophet called Muhammad. I think that everything that is in the Quran was compiled by a powerful people that want to use the book to enslave people. Because according to what I'm saying there, I have a lot of verses that was copied from the Sumerians book. Have you read about some Sumerians book then, like Genesis and Emesh and others? Because immediately, exactly that the fiction was there about Noah, about the creation of Adam, about Cain and Abel, and everything. They cover everything from the Genesis to Genesis in the Bible. So after the Bible, as you know that Quran is Arabic Bible. That is the only definition that we can give to Quran. Because everything that is in the Quran was in the Bible also. Nothing changed. But the only thing there is, do you think that even can Muhammad be receiving revelation and look as if what is in the Bible? And Christian was not received by Muslim. So when Christians are not in the right way, why everything in the Bible was in the Quran also? So as per me, and as by a lot of books, a lot of ancient books that I've read, I can see that the mythology of these people, Quran and Bible is the mythology of these people. There is nothing called prophet. So that is, do you think that Muhammad received revelation or anything. Even as per me, I don't think there is someone calling Muhammad. Everything in this is fiction. And okay, if Muhammad is receiving revelation, why the Quran compile every law of Arabians? The law of Arabians was in the Quran as if they are doing it. So nothing changed. So according to me, you may correct me, I stand to be corrected. According to me, everything in the Quran was the sense of Arabs, the characters of Arabs, and the way of life of Arabs. Because I have like 120 verses that stand as everything that has been doing in Arabians. So what is the difference? So what do you think about that revelation instinct? Do you think the revelation is real, or do you think Muhammad is real? So that is my question.
Okay, I totally understand your question, and that's so valid. Actually, as you said, there is this hypothesis that Muhammad never existed, and he was just like a fictional character that the Abbasis managed to create to gain control over the people and to gain control over other part of land. It's totally correct, especially when we're gonna see the contradictions in the Quran, when we're gonna start seeing the contradictions between the Sunnah and the Quran. Like, for example, the Quran tells you that Muhammad never had a miracle. The Sunnah and the Hadith gonna, like, literally pretty much more than 2,000 miracles that Muhammad performed, from like making a lot of food to splitting the moon. About like the content of the Quran, it is just copy paste from the Bible, from the Torah, from Aristotle. Like, for example, the what's the name?
Embryology?
The embryology. Thank you. Embryology is just a copy paste from Aristotle and some Greek philosophers. For example, the explanation of the Quran, where milk come from, it's totally wrong and just a copy paste from some Aramaic books. If Muhammad ever existed, like they say, he was just like taken for a fool and just collecting informations, correct one, incorrect one, mythologies from everywhere, from the Arabic Christians back then, that literally they had their own sect. They believed in the Holy Trinity as the Virgin Mary, the Father and the Son, not even the Holy Spirit. That's why you're gonna find in the Quran that says that Isa and Maryam said that we had food and we die, or something like that, meaning that they are not gods. So you have totally the right to believe that way. For me personally, I don't wanna, pretty much, and I don't advise people to actually look much into that, because the issue that we have today, it's not about where does Islam came from. Is that Islam still exists and still want to control other people's life. Like, I don't care if you are Muslim and you want to pray 5 times, do Ramadan and beat your wife. That's your life. But you don't have the right to tell me how to live my life or what to do in my free time. I think this is the main issue that we have to face right now. Also with a lot of immoralities that we're gonna find in the Sharia law. What was the other question?
Muhammad got a revelation.
Delusional revelation? Yeah, maybe. But real revelation from a higher deity? Absolutely not. Because if there is a God, probably she's a woman, and pretty much she would not allow what Muhammad did allow. Because literally they told us, and I've been taught since I was young, indoctrinated, that Muhammad came to complete our morals. And I'm sorry, when I start reading the Islamic history and some reasons of revelation of some verses, I can tell you that that was not a proper revelation from an absolute moral deity, like God. So yeah.
Tell us about like some of the convenient revelation. If you can enlighten us on the story a bit of Zayd and is it Zainab? Where he went to
Oh yeah.
Zainab's house. If you can just tell us that story and how the revelation came down.
Yeah, Muhammad used to do stepfather videos long before Pornhub. So pretty much Zayd is the adoptive son of Muhammad. They used to call him Zayd ibn Muhammad, Zayd the son of Muhammad. Uh, when he came of age to get married, he asked his father to marry. So Muhammad pretty much gonna marry his son to his cousin because Zainab is the Prophet's cousin. After, and for your information, she did not want to marry Zayd at first, but Allah made a verse and obliged her to marry him. Literally, if I remember, I cannot remember the number of the verse, but the verse says like, whatever Allah and the Prophet commands you, you have to obey, something like that.
Chose what to obey. Wow.
Yeah, you have to obey. So she married Zayd. What happened is that Muhammad, because he was not satisfied with 9 wives and so many concubines, he saw her and he fell in love. That's what they say, but pretty much it was just lust, and he got his tent up. So one day he was going over to his son's house, and she was in the house, like being a good housewife back then. She was not dressing very modestly. So he saw her from the window, and he saw her skin, and he was fascinated by her. Another narration said that he literally entered the house and some wind uncovered her, and he said, MashaAllah, or something like that, and she heard him. Anyway, long story short is that Zayd knew that his adoptive father have a crush on his wife. So he went to him and he told him, if you want, I can divorce her and you can marry her. The Prophet told him, no, keep your wife. A verse came down to tell Muhammad that, yeah, it's okay. I know that you told him that he can keep his wife, but if you are shy, me, Allah, I'm not shy of anything, and I'm gonna tell you that, yeah, whenever Zayd is gonna be done with her and he gonna divorce her, you can marry her. And that what happened. After that, the Arabs and the Kuffar and even the Muslims, they were looking up and down in Muhammad like, bro, what you just did. Like, you married your son's
Big
wife.
Joe, Sorry, I'm just asking Big Joe to bring the ayah up because it's very important. So go
Yes.
ahead now.
Tó ti
So,
fẹ́ Zainab àbí?
Yeah.
so they were shocked because how come somebody gonna marry their wife's their son ex-wife? What Allah did to save Muhammad from the trouble is that he came up with a verse and prohibited, made it haram of one of the most noblest thing humans came up with, which is adoption. He literally annulled the adoption and he made it haram. You are not allowed to adopt anymore. While the verse came down says that the Prophet never had a son amongst you and you must call each son to their own fathers. Then they stopped calling Zayd as Zayd the son of Muhammad and they started calling him Zayd son of Thabit.
Alhamdulillah.
Like
Okay.
Do you
We have a
people will
cleric
ask
here.
what did he gain from being a prophet?
do you have anything to say about the black stone? And I'll get
Um,
the last one.
ẹ jẹ́ sáré ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo ilé. So, nǹkan tí bàbá wa Lóra Ẹ̀dà àti bàbá Ìtòláyé tí wọ́n kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Mo fẹ́ ṣàlàyé fún gbogbo ilé nǹkan tí bàbá Ìtòláyé àti bàbá Lóra Ẹ̀dà tí wọ́n sọ. So bàbá Ìtòláyé béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá Lóra Ẹ̀dà wípé ṣé Ànábì Mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ṣé bàbá Ìtòláyé ní pé ní ò màá gbé
What's in
English
Big
sí ẹ
Joe's?
má pa máìkì mi náà màá gbé English sí mo ti gbọ́. mo máa gbé English wá sìn. So mo ti gbọ́ màá gbé English sí. So bàbá Ìtòláyé wọ́n béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá Lone Rider wípé ẹ ti jẹ́ kí n miss nǹkan mo fẹ́ sọ gan. Ah,
ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀yin brothers and sisters wa.
Oh, olówó èkó wọn ò tí ì ká àyà yẹn a ṣẹ̀ máa kà ní wọ́n kàn ń explain wọ́n ń relay fún gbogbo ilé nǹkan tí Lone Rider sọ she's just explaining in Yoruba àti ìka àyà for now.
So lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ rí i pé the confidence of ẹni tí ó kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ó ní mùsùlùmí ni mí máa nà án ìyàwó ẹ̀ ló ń sọ yẹn òye gbogbo nǹkan yóò bá àsìkò ìmú mọ́ gbogbo nǹkan tó wà ń bíbá yóò bá nǹkan kan mu mọ́ gbé e lẹ̀ ṣègbésí ayé ẹ̀ so kíní kan máa implicate ẹni òye so ọlọ́run Elédùmarè á ṣàánú wa o. Lone Rider.
Yes.
Can you please discuss with us about the Hajara last word? What do you think about it? Okay, go on.
The most paganist thing that they still do till today. So yeah, the black stone. According to the Islamic story, they say that the black stone, it is a stone that fell from heaven, and it was pure white, but because of the sin of men, it turned black. All I can say is that maybe that's just a meteor, and that's what it is, and they believe that that was from heaven. And they used to put it in the Kaaba and worship it. Literally, they used to come around, like there were some women who wants to give birth, they used to pretty much rub their private part against it, so they will get the blessing from the gods to give birth. If it was a lot of sexual thing that used to happen around the Black Stone. And when Muhammad came, when he made it prohibited from the non-Muslims to visit the Kaaba when he gained power, he always kept doing this thing during even Hajj or Umrah, like he gonna go and kiss the Black Stone, or even during prayers he gonna go and kiss the Black Stone. So after his death, Umar ibn al-Khattab literally gonna say a good hadith that he said that I know you're just a stone that's not good or bad for me in anything, but if I did not see the Prophet kiss you, I would never kiss you. So we're just following what the Prophet did 1400 years ago, kissing the black stone. That's what his ancestor used to do before him as a pagan ritual. Yeah, just simple paganism.
All right, thank you very much. Alawa Ifshewambema,
Yeah,
Eba
Ejaba
Cleric.
Cleric, are you there?
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Walaikum salam.
Nítorí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀pẹ pàtẹ́ wà nígbà yìí. Àwọn kan náà mi ò tiẹ̀ gbọ́ ìbò. Àwọn ìbò yẹn mo gbé sílẹ̀ ní ọdún wa.
aláwa ẹ̀fọ́ dà pé mi ló ṣe mistake pa kámẹ́rà yìí. Mo fẹ́ gbé yín sí big screen ni o.
So kò sí wàhálà ibi tí wàá yé kẹ́bí mi.
It's okay.
Mo wà okay. So mi ò gbọ́ lábáwá. Mi ò dẹ̀ gbọ́ ìbò. Àmọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí. So mo ní láti máa sọ èdè mi. Wọ́n tẹ̀ fún látàárọ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n kàn ń fi làákàyè gbọ́wọ́ lọ́nà tó ti nípa tẹ̀sán yẹn nọ́mánọ́mà. Kódà tẹ́ bá gbé Kúránì nígbà yìí mi ò lè bá yín kà ẹ sọ Yorùbá tèmi gbọ́. That's what I'm based on it. But nínú tí mo gbọ́ wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé bóyá mo.
Ok, ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe báyìí. Mr. Cleric, tẹ́yìn bá ti ń sọ Yorùbá, èmi máa sọ fún Lone Rider so that Lone Rider lè understand nǹkan tí à ń sọ. So ẹ já tẹ̀síwájú.
Wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé bóyá mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ yẹn ó gbé kinní kan wá tó bá yẹ pé tòótọ́ òun gbé tuntun wá ni ṣebí ní táwọn dádì ẹ ti ń ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ṣebí ló yẹ kó máa ṣe lórí tábà pè ní ẹ̀sìn ẹlẹ́bọ tòótọ́ ló yẹ pé tí wọ́n ṣe níbẹ̀ yẹn ni wáyà tó yẹ pé tóun wá gbé wà lódì wà láàrin wọn débi kan fẹ́ béèrè lásán ni tí n bá ti gbọ́ eléyàn màá mọ tó máa kù lẹ́yìn eléyàn.
ṣé mo understand nǹkan tẹ́ sọ bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ n gbìyànjú. Lórẹ̀dà, okay, this is what cleric is saying. Ẹ fẹ́ ṣàlàyé fún wọn ni.
Mo fẹ́ ṣàlàyé fàfà yẹn straight ni kí ló ra ìdá sí mi díẹ̀ àbọ̀ ńlá fẹ́ kó dáhùn. ṣọ́wọ́
Mo
ló ra
fẹ́
ìdá
kó
lẹ́tí
mo fẹ́ kí
ló ra
Lórẹ̀dà
ìdá
dáhùn.
lẹ́tí okay. So ló ra ìdá so the cleric don't know how to speak English, so he ask you that if Prophet Muhammad is not relevant and is not bringing any revelation, why can't he be doing the usual thing that his forefathers are doing, the idols worshiping? So that is what he asked. So can you give answer to him?
Yep, we
Mo
cannot
feel
do
pé
everything.
Lórẹ̀dà, hold on, mo feel pé this is what he said. He said, if we are saying Muhammad did not bring new thing, why is it that what he brought, he did not, bí ẹ ṣe sọ yẹn pé kò bá, he does not serve the idol that their forefathers are serving, and why are they now fighting over the new thing that he brought? That why is it causing fights?
Exactly.
I understand correctly. We cannot tell what was going on his head. We don't have proper and enough data to know what was going on in his head 1400 years ago. All we can say is just like kind of conclusions from what we know. Why he kept doing that? Pretty much he was kind of spiritual and following his, especially his grandfather practices, because he was so close with his grandfather Abdul Muttalib, and Abdul Muttalib was considered to be a very good religious person. And also, what played a huge role in his career as a prophet, if we're gonna allow to say that, was the cousin of Khadija, Waraq ibn Nawfal. Like he managed to actually play a huge role in all the revelation things.
Oh, Loretta, so you'll be doing it little by little, so I can catch up with you. So, Baba Cleric,
Yeah.
nǹkan tí Loretta ń sọ náà ni wípé òun ò lè sọ particularly nǹkan tí ó go lórí Ànábì Muhammad wípé ṣé mo catch up gbogbo yẹn ṣá?
Kọ́tọ́kọ́
Mi catch up.
sílẹ̀ la mọ̀.
Wọ́n máa ń pè
Pé nǹkan tí wọ́n kọ sílẹ̀ àti wípé ìyàwó tó fẹ́ tó jẹ́ Khadija bí ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀, àwọn náà ló ń kọ ní àwọn majority àwọn nǹkan tí ó ń sọ jáde. So Loretta, you be taking it slow so I can catch up with you.
Come again with Joseph? Sorry?
I said you be saying it like slow so I can translate
Big
it
Joes,
for the
ohun tí
You know
room.
dá
when you
yín lóhùn tán
interpret,
tiẹ̀
you know,
nìyẹn,
like
ó ti dá yín lóhùn.
interpretation. Yeah, you say a few words and then she interprets in Yoruba because
Oh
this
yeah.
cleric doesn't speak English.
Okay. And you can also say that Muhammad literally was close to one idol amongst all of the other gods that the Arabs used to worship. And therefore, like, since he saw that his preaching was working and was going good, he managed to ignore and disqualify all the other gods and made Allah only the main one and the only one and the strongest one.
Clearing nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ náà ni wọ́n ní pé Muhammad pé lára àwọn idol tí gbogbo àwọn lárúbáwá tí wọ́n ń jọ́sìn fún pé ẹyọ kan ni ànábì ló súnmọ́ dáadáa jù. Ó wá pé kó má sin àwọn yòókù pẹ̀lú ṣe mọ̀ pé 360 idol ló wà nù Kaaba nígbà yẹn. Ẹyọ kan ni ànábì Muhammad súnmọ́. Ó wá sọ wípé kó má jọ́sìn fún àwọn yòókù mọ́. Ó pa wọ́n tì, ó ní kán pa wọ́n rẹ́. So bó ṣe wá fẹ́ gbé Allah nìkan ga, ìyẹn ló wá di gbọ́nmi sí omi ò tó. Torí àwọn ẹlòmíì tó yẹ pé oríṣiríṣi àwọn idol yẹn náà làwọn náà ń sìn, inú wa ń bí wọn, àwọn nǹkan tí ó tún fa àwọn ìjà tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ nígbà yẹn nìyẹn. Continue, Loretta.
Yeah, and Also, if we wanna, because there is always this question that what did Muhammad gain from pretending to be a prophet? He gained a lot. He gained like in sexual needs, he gained in power. He became super powerful. He became rich because he used to take the fifth of the war goods that they used to steal. And also, like, he just had a plan. And he managed to execute that plan, not gonna say perfectly, but the circumstances back then managed to get the plan work. Because nowadays, if we're gonna have the Prophet Muhammad today in 2026 and tell us that, oh, I got a revelation from Allah and he told me to do this and this and this, he gonna go to a mental hospital.
So nǹkan tí Lórẹ̀dà tún sọ ni wípé bí ànábì Muhammad bó ṣe sọ pé òun jẹ́ òjíṣẹ́ pé àwọn oríṣiríṣi àǹfààní àtàwọn oríṣiríṣi èrè ló rí níbẹ̀. Àkọ́kọ́ pé ó lè dó ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan tó bá wù ú ló lè fún lẹ́kàn. Ẹ̀kejì ó agbára nípa bó ṣe sọ pé òun jẹ́ òjíṣẹ́ Allah yẹn ó ní agbára kiní yẹn fún lágbára ó fún ní nǹkan kan pé á kàn ro anything tó bá wù ú látorí á dẹ̀ sọ wípé Allah ló ní kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan yẹn ó ní ó mú ọpọlọ dání o kò mú ọpọlọ dání o tó bá ṣàti sọ pé Allah ló ní pé kóun ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn yẹn náà wọn ò ní bá yẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wò.
Okay.
So ṣe tún ní ìbéèrè míì cleric ọmọ Allah leléyìí ò so kẹ́ béèrè
Mo
ẹ
ń
béèrè
tẹ̀lé
everything
bí
nípa
wọ́n ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn lọ
Allah
mọ̀
lọ́wọ́.
ó dẹ̀ kí wọ́n sì ń ṣàlàyé síwájú. Mo fẹ́ kí wọ́n ṣàlàyé dáadáa.
Okay, he said you should continue Lórẹ̀dà.
So, kini other question tó fẹ́ mọ̀, like what other question? Cause ẹ máa need láti wà specific, ṣe get. So, kí lẹ̀yin fẹ́ mọ̀ gangan, cleric?
Tí mo tún gbọ́ wọ́n mọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan tó dẹ̀ yé mi dájú mo dájú lórí ẹ̀. Wọ́n ní pé ànábì ò mọ kankan mọ̀ ká. So báwo ló ṣe wá lè mọ̀ nípa àwọn nǹkan kan yẹn? Because kò jẹ́ bójú mu pé pé ohun tí wọ́n mọ̀ yẹn pé wọ́n kà mọ̀ just like that.
Okay. So, Lone Rider, according to the narration, the prophet was an illiterate. So, how did he gather knowledge about all these things? My theory is that he was a merchant. He traveled. He was with Khadija. Anyway, I'll let Lone Rider answer.
Yes, that's my theory as well. Because like, if we will give the argument that he was illiterate, being illiterate back then was not a big of a deal. And also, being illiterate is meaning that you don't write and read. That doesn't mean that you cannot hear and memorize stuff. He had a lot of companions that they were actually pretty much scholars in their own field. Like, for example, Salman al-Farisi was a big scholar either in Zoroastrianism. Also, he had knowledge in Christianity, war, and philosophy. There is also somebody that they used to call the doctor of Arabs, which he was actually a doctor, and he read a lot of Aristotle and some other Greek books. As you said, Ms. Givola, that he used to actually travel a lot and be a merchant, and he used to go to the Levant. And when we are saying the Levant, we are saying that the center of knowledge in the 7th century. So,
Okay, let me relate to Big Jules. So Big Jules, nǹkan tó ń try láti sọ ni wípé or cleric, Ànábì ẹ lè sọ pé illiterate ni kò mọ nǹkan kan, but ẹ rántí pé number one, ó marry Christian. Ìgbà tó marry Khadija, Khadija was not a Muslim because Islam ò tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ ńgbà yẹn. Ànábì marry Khadija at the age of kíni 25. Ìgbà tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ prophethood ẹ̀ 40 years old ló pé, ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ agree pẹ̀lú yẹn. Now, so nǹkan tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ni pé ẹ mọ̀ pé ó travel ẹ dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ọmọ olówó ni Khadija. Khadija was a business owner. She was me like my use ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, but think of sugar mommy, ó lówó, ó dàgbà jù lọ and everything. So mo feel bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ó travel around because even ìgbà tó gba first revelation ẹ̀ ṣe mọ̀ pé ó sáré lọ bá Khadija ni tó ní cover me Khadija. Tí Khadija wá gbé lọ sọ́dọ̀ cousin ẹ̀ Wárákàtì yẹn. Tí Wárákàtì ló wá sọ fún pé okay o Jibril ló yọ sí ẹ. So ó fi hàn pé ó gather knowledge from around the people traveling. Ẹ mọ̀ pé Muhammad ọ máa ń pè ní the ear. Àwọn pagans, etí, wọ́n máa ń pè mí, I don't know how to explain that properly, but he was known as the ear. So, ó máa gbọ́ story akọ. For example, story Solomon tó wà nínú Bible, ẹ rí pé ó different sí tó wà nínú Quran. But tí n bá bí ẹ̀yin Muslim, ẹ sọ pé the same character ni. Báwo ló ṣe jẹ́? Tó bá jẹ́ Allah ló send the Torah, òun ló send the Injil àbí Bible, whatever you call it, gospel, òun ló send the Quran. Why all these different messages?
No, ẹ má
Okay,
bínú.
Loretta, sorry, Clary. So some of our listeners are at home. Just give us a call that maybe you should explain to our Muslims brothers and sisters that yes. So they want to translate Allah names to the supreme being that our forefather believes before they brought Islam into our land, which is Olorun Eledumare. So can Allah name be translated to other supreme being that other people believes, or
No, Allah is Allah. There is no other name for Allah except the name Allah. Actually,
our
there is
our
his
our
real name
brothers
that
they
we
used
don't
to
know,
try to
but you cannot translate the word Allah to any other language, especially to English, because like when we are talking about God in English, we are speaking about what we call in Arabic not Allah but Ilah, which means just a God. But Allah is, as we want to say, the
The
God.
God. Yep.
Yes, the God. So you cannot translate the word Allah to any kind of language that you have. It remains the same. So I've heard about this from MS Baba, like I think it was a year ago when he told me about like in Nigeria right now they wanted to say that Allah is the same God that your ancestor used to worship. It's not. You cannot translate the name Allah as Allah. Yahweh is Yahweh. Zeus is Zeus.
Thank you. Oh, that was
so I
good.
want I
Big
want
Joe's bones, okay.
Loretta, according to Islam, if they translate that Allah names, is there any punishment for them?
Not a punishment, but it is sinful.
Hmm.
Jenny, because whether you go to France, you go to Spain, you go to whatever, Allah is Allah everywhere you go. And that's why cleric tẹ́ bá ti ń sọ ẹ gbọ́ Ọlọ́run tóbi, mi gbọ́ gbogbo yín tẹ́ máa ń sọ Ọlọ́run Akbar. Ẹ sì máa sọ Allahu Akbar yẹn. It's because èdè wa ni, àṣà wa ni. So automatically ẹ link ẹ. Ṣé mo pé àwọn Christian náà máa ń ṣe? Wọ́n máa ń pe Jésù ní Ọlọ́run. And he's not. These are colonial gods. Wọ́n gbé wá bá àwa ni. Ṣé understand?
Hmm.
Ẹ jẹ́ má bínú, ṣé mo lè béèrè ìbéèrè?
A
Miss
berry.
Jibola, Big
Nígbà
Josie, I have to go to sleep. I have work at 7. Yeah.
Has work.
Thank you
Okay.
so very much.
Sorry, Claire.
Are you
Ẹ
are
má
you
bínú. Maybe
can you
next time.
okay? Oh,
Wọ́n náà
Oh,
bá cleric
will you
sọ̀rọ̀
answer
lẹ́nà.
this last question before you go or not?
Do you think
yes.
you can do one last question? 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Last question, please, guys.
Oh yeah, Clary.
mo tún gbọ́ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan tí mo ti gbọ́ dáadáa online. Wọ́n ní pé wọ́n ń sin pé Muhammad ń sin ènìyàn. Ó dá àṣà gbígbọ́ pé wọ́n máa ń focus
Mi
lórí
gbọ́
pé
yín dáadáa o.
pé Muhammad òòrùn ni wọ́n ń sìn. Ó dá àṣà tó jẹ́ pé máa ń focus lórí pé tóòrùn bá ti yọ ní kírun. Òun náà máa ń focus lé lórí tó fi bá gbààwẹ̀. Òun náà máa ń dó lórí wọ́n fi ṣe iléyá. Something báyìí ń po òòrùn sọ́gbà. Kí ni orí ṣe? Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ṣe rí lóòótọ́? Mo fẹ́ gbọ́.
Okay, so Lone Rider, he's asking, why is it that Muslims are so reliant on the moon and the sun, especially when it comes to period like fasting and all of that? Even we can talk about the symbol and on the mosque as well. So the killer so cleric.
Wọ́n ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n ń sọ pé ohun tí Mùsùlùmí ń ṣe nìyẹn.
Yes, so yeah, in Kotimon Binonia. So why are those symbols so important in Islam?
So pretty much the moon in Islam represent as they love to say, it means that everything is peaceful, you know, and everything is very, very calm and pure. That's how they love to represent the moon. But why Islamically it is the moon. We don't have any scripture that speaks about that, just modern day scholars that they love to explain it that way. The explanation that I can give you right now, just because Muhammad did not know better. The Arabic calendar was a lunar calendar that they used to use before Muhammad, like thousands of years ago. So he just took it and applied it to his religion. Literally in Islam, they say that the first verse of the Quran was revealed to Muhammad during Ramadan, which means that Ramadan, Rajab, Shawwal, and the other months were pretty much very known back then. Why he chose the moon, I will simply tell you, because Allah was the God moon. Simply. And since he chose Allah to be his Lord and Savior and the only God to worship, pretty much the symbol is for the moon's God.
And he also called himself the God of moon. He's
Yeah,
Allahu Nuru Samawati wal Ardi.
yes.
So that is perfect.
Like, shall I translate to Yoruba or Big Jules?
Uh,
Cleric
Afa.
Agbo. Thank you so much, Lone Rider. Guys, no more questions now.
So
No problem.
gẹ́gẹ́ bí
Okay.
ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni pé
Eli.
tá a bá sọ pé Allah oyè láti ilẹ̀ wá náà láti rí àwọn tí wọ́n ń lo the moon and the shams àtòòrùn àti òṣùpá ní symbols oyè fún ọba God tí wọ́n ń sìn.